about 20 years. Started in real estate when I was 18. I was terrible at it because I looked like I was about 8 when I was 18. So no one really trusted me when it came to real estate. So I got into title. Less people had to depend on me for the biggest purchase of their life when I was in title. So I've been in title for a long time, and really my goal has always been to find ways to help agents in their business and just constantly trying to find new ways to support you. And like 07, 06, I started to get into social media. I'd read a book by Seth Godin, and the name of the book was called Meatball Sunday. It's completely outdated at this point, but back then it was just kind of eye-opening that social media is a great way for you to be able to get in front of people and for more eyeballs to see you, and the speed at which technology is moving. We needed to be aware of it. So I just started kind of digging into it, and what I found was it is a really good tool for real estate agents and lenders and myself to market and get in front of people and capture their attention. So my goal today is to kind of give you an overview of some of the sites and then talk about a couple terms that I think are important when you're out marketing on social media platforms, and then just give you a couple ideas of things that you could be doing to help build your brand and kind of build awareness inside of these different platforms. So we'll just kind of jump into it. So I will spend a little bit of time on Facebook. That tends to be the one that I kind of use the most, but I kind of teach on the most. And really the reason is there's 2.1 billion monthly active users. It's just used a lot. It's a platform that people are familiar with. It's a platform that people understand, and you're starting to see all the other platforms are kind of building off of similarities, but they kind of started with Facebook. So we go through Facebook because it's important. We'll just kind of start with a couple key ideas. So Facebook has something built into the newsfeed called an EdgeRank algorithm. So the EdgeRank algorithm dictates what you're seeing in your newsfeed, right? So when you log into Facebook, you see certain people's stuff, and it's usually the same people over and over and over, right? Over the last couple of weeks, maybe you've seen a couple new people pop in there, and you're like, oh, why are they popping in there? That's because Facebook is changing how their EdgeRank works a little bit. But ideally, it's based on these 3 fundamentals. So the first one being affinity. So affinity is your interconnection with each individual person that you're friends with. So for every friend you're connected to, the more interconnection you have with them, the higher your affinity is with them. So the higher likelihood you're going to see their stuff when they post, or vice versa. The cool thing with affinity is it can kind of be a one-way street. So if you're viewing yourself as a marketer and you're trying to market your brand to a specific, maybe it's a referral source, maybe there's a plumber that is connected to a lot of people. You're like, what, I should connect with that plumber and just start getting to know that plumber. If you just go in and start liking and commenting their stuff, that affinity is going to drive up for that specific person, right? So that's just one strategy. Past clients are another strategy, or prospects. The more they're seeing your face, or the more you're liking and commenting on their stuff, the higher the affinity. Yes?
So are you talking mainly through a business page or through your personal page?
Personal profile only, yeah.
Okay.
You can't really drive affinity. You can't drive affinity through the business page.
Okay.
The business page is only going to drive visibility through paid ads or sponsorship.
Okay.
Yeah, we just had this conversation. It's just it's a tough way to promote your business. The idea is that people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and they do business with people that they have a relationship with. The idea with these platforms is you can build that relationship so much quicker. Even if you don't know these people, you can build it quicker through these platforms because you have their attention. There's not a lot of attention on the business pages. There's not. The personal profile is where the attention's at. Okay.
I expected it to be the same when I started the business page. I thought, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
And it was totally not working.
Right. Well, if you post something on a business page and you get 1 like, versus if you post something on your personal page and you get 50 likes, that's just that's the obvious that there's a difference. And the difference is Facebook wants to make sure that they're not gonna lose your attention by it becoming ad driven, right? So even now with the sponsored ads and that stuff, Facebook still really controls how much of that you see. Whereas you'll see when we get into Instagram has a lot more ads that are driving in there. You just don't, it doesn't feel like ads because they're so specific.
You're right.
Yeah,
So another question,
of
so,
course.
what is your opinion, if you will, on doing advertising within a Facebook page, like posting maybe 2 or 3 times a week, different things like which bathroom do you like,
Sure.
that kind of thing. I mean, on a business page.
Yeah.
Because what I'm noticing is you'll get a couple comments or a couple likes and then you respond, and I mean, it's nothing compared to the personal page where you can see,
Right.
you know, lots of activity.
Lots of activity. Yeah.
So what is your opinion on that?
My opinion is you can sell the fact that you're in real estate on your personal profile without it being so pushy or business related, right? Like, so I like the tips of like things to do your kitchen or whatever, but I think there's a different way to kind of promote your business than that. That tends to work really well in email drips and more so than it would on Facebook. I think Facebook's got to be more like just going to a listing appointment and this happened, or I was meeting with buyers tonight and this happened. Much more real time, actual.
Blog.
Yeah, almost blog like, document like, and that's another concept is that really focus on how you document what you're doing versus trying to create content, right? So your tips for kitchens or winterizing your home, that's more like content creation. Like I'm trying to create content that I can push out, right? Whereas with documenting, it's just you doing what you do, right? It's you going to a restaurant or doing certain things, and I'll show you how to use these tools to do that. So it's so much easier for you to come up with content. What you're really trying to do is just stay visible with people. They already know you sell real estate, right? And you can reiterate that softly, like, I'll show you once we get there.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
But the
So
key,
what about a business page?
What's your opinion on that?
What's,
yeah, I don't like them unless you're willing to spend the money and the energy, and you got to really be creative in what your content is going to be on those pages. So without skipping around, I'm just going to show you real quick, because you guys are bringing up a very, obviously I can tell that that's something that you guys care about.
So,
Yeah.
so I've been to a few classes, talked to a few people that know a
Yeah.
lot about Facebook and this kind of thing. And we're currently paying a company to, and it's not a lot, to do marketing on Facebook.
Hmm.
But what I'm noticing is that it's not really like,
is it worth it?
it's not really doing anything in
Yeah.
my opinion.
If you're not getting a return
You're just
on what you're.
wasting time.
Right.
It's just, I don't see the purpose,
Yeah.
but I have taken classes where on your Facebook page, your personal page,
Yep.
how you can creatively just like, oh, took a little break from working real estate today to go to the park, and here's a picture, and
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
hashtags, and you know,
Yeah.
all these things that are
Of course.
supposed to, yeah.
So a couple of things. One, I still think that the best promoter of your brand, especially on social media platforms, is you. I still think that the more you control the activity, the better results you're going to have because it's authentic. It's you.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like an ad. I guarantee that the company that you're using to support you with your business page, it's going to feel like
Yeah.
packaged
It
content.
does to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and they're better than most.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it does to me, it doesn't feel authentic.
Right.
And if I'm gonna be on Facebook, what it feels like to me is I would prefer to be authentic, and like you said, if you're, so like the plumber,
Yep.
as an example, or I have a girlfriend that knows 2,000 people.
Yep.
I think that it's more beneficial to be interacting on Facebook personally
Yeah.
with her than it is to be, you know, posting these, which bathroom do you like?
I 100% agree with you.
Okay.
And I would also say that if you can find those people that have those connections, 2,000-3,000 connections like that,
Yeah,
I would be really giving back to their content as much as possible. So if they're consistently posting and they're consistently putting content out,
she does all the
you
time.
want to make sure you're liking, commenting,
Opening.
you're tying to that as much as possible, because that's gonna ultimately, it's driving that affinity for you and that individual.
Or
To my friend's post.
that has
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
now she's a stay-at-home mom. But I've helped her buy and sell,
Yeah.
real estate and.
But she's active,
it-
and she's active on it.
She's got more time on her hands though.
Yeah. Well, but see, there's so much gold in that. Is if you can find someone like that has influenced relationships inside of Facebook or wherever, they've poured enough energy into everybody else that, again, as marketers and people that are trying to get business, if we tie to those individuals, we want them thinking of us. We want to be their real estate partner. Obviously, if you've helped her, she's always going to be thinking of you. But the more you're investing in her content, the more she feels like you care, because you're spending your time and energy on her stuff.
So recently, it's come across Facebook that Facebook is limiting you to 30 people. What is that? Have you heard that?
Yeah, a little bit, but they're limiting you to 30 people on who you subscribe to.
What do you mean subscribe?
So inside of here,
On
so
groups?
yeah, so can I get to that, because it
Yeah,
ties in?
yeah.
No, that's perfect. No,
I
you're
just
fine.
have lots of questions.
No,
so-
I appreciate it, but it ties into several different things, right? So, so this affinity piece,
Okay, you keep going and all.
right? Yeah, you're good.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, I could go in like 4 different directions,
Yeah,
but that
okay.
affinity piece, it's so important, because the interconnectivity that you have with other people and their content is the most important part of any of these platforms. They're spending time putting stuff out. They want to feel like they're relevant, and you as a marketer can add relevance to them, right? So I used to show this and I had just shown you, but there was a way to build a list inside of Facebook, so you could put specific people inside of a list. So you only targeted those people and their content. Well, it's kind of going away. So you can't actually do that. I'll show you, because it's still there right now. But under see more here, there's this thing called a friends list, and you could build whatever list you wanted. So you could build past clients, top referral sources, or whatever, and you could put them into this list. And so then when you click on that list, like so for me, top prospects, I can click on that list, and now I'm only seeing the content from those individuals. But what it's also done is it has pulled the algorithm out. I'm only seeing what those people have posted, right? So now I can go in and like and comment just on those people. Well, since that's going away, the other option is to basically go and subscribe. So I can go and subscribe to this content right here, see first.
Can you show me that one more time? Can
Oh.
you back up one?
Of course.
do that.
Do you want to see the list piece?
Just show me how you did that again.
Cool. So this list, right?
Okay, so you're in,
I'm on the home page of Facebook.
okay,
With newsfeed, it's
Over on the left, if you don't see friends list,
yeah,
if you go scroll down and click on see more, it'll pull it up, and you'll see friends list right there.
okay,
Um,
okay.
and then you go in here and you basically say create a list, and you can call it whatever you want. So,
But is that not gonna be around? Or
right,
is
I
it-
don't know how long it's going to be
You
around,
just never know, but it's
Exactly.
good information.
but the idea behind it was I would teach agents to build these lists, put their key people in, so they didn't miss content from those people that they're trying to target, right?
So are you basically following people then? Is that
Yes.
the same kind of thing?
Yep. You're basically following them, but you can only. So because that list setting is going away, you have to go to. Let me just show you where I was at. So
How did you get to that list on the left side?
home.
Intro.
Just on the homepage.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
got it. Okay.
So again, here's someone I want to follow. I click on this. I can say, hey, I want to see this first. So you can only do that for like up to 30 people. That's what they're saying. Like, you can only subscribe or basically see first only so many people.
So you would recommend that you find like the top 30 people?
Yep. And then put them first. And then that way you're seeing that content. And you know what? Here's the thing, is you can rotate those people in and out of
I
that.
see that.
But at least you know their content. Here's a perfect example. I post like maybe twice a month. I don't post that much. But when I do post, if people want to see that content, then if they subscribe or they put me first, there's a higher likelihood they're going to see the stuff that I post. I post a lot less than I spend on other people's content. I spend more time on other people's content than I do on my own. Again, it's that whole relevance thing of just brand reiteration. If there's certain people, like we just met, if I just started liking and commenting your stuff, eventually there's going to be this brand reiteration of Gavin, and who is Gavin, and what does he do, and let me start digging into him, right? That just starts to be the case, right?
So another question on that.
Of course.
So if you're spending more time on people's posts than on posting yourself, are you just responding? You're not like doing any hashtags or anything? You're just...
Not on Facebook. I don't do hashtags.
You're just responding to their
stuff.
Their stuff.
Yep. So let me just kind of give
Someone
you.
told me that if somebody responds to your post, then take it a level further and go into their page and comment on some of their posts.
Absolutely. But I go the opposite. I always try to go and comment on everybody else's stuff. And then if I do post and they comment on my stuff, I make sure that I'm connecting with every single one of those comments.
And it doesn't matter to what extent. I mean, other than liking it and then making a comment.
Yeah,
correct?
I think being authentic is key. If you're just going in and putting a smiley face emoji, it's cool, but you're not really showing who you are. Like, I'm a pretty matter of fact guy when it comes to some of this stuff. So you'll see, I love this picture, or that's great, or I'll end up asking a different question about something else that made me think about that person. Just like if I was building a relationship with someone, I'm a little bit more matter of fact about my comments, but that's kind of who I am. So, and my humor is bad, so I have that too. Bad humor. Not like bad, but like not funny. Bad. So for example, like Dustin is someone that I'm trying to focus on. I could just hit like, and then I could just come in here and just say happy anniversary,
Right.
whatever you want to say. But the idea is that if you have 32 likes and 7 comments, what's the likelihood of them seeing your comment? Pretty high, because 7 comments is not very many, right? And when you post something and someone comments on it, do you see it? Of course you see it. You see it immediately.
Yeah,
And
everybody does.
Everybody does, right? You want to see that immediately. So there's so much gold in that. As marketers, is if I know I can get your attention briefly to connect me to your content, I am going to consistently look for those opportunities. Cool.
So what about adding friends? What is your opinion on having like lots of friends?
I try to know as
You don't
many as
accept.
possible. Yeah.
Do you accept from people you don't know?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
And if
What's that?
it is, there's usually some sort of tie.
A friend of a friend.
A friend of a friend, or I know they're in real estate, or I know they're a lender. If I know they're part of the industry, there's a higher likelihood I'm going to accept them. But I tend to be pretty black and white. I bet you I know 90% of the people I'm connected to. There's definitely 10% where it's a mutual from someone else, and I just
Yeah.
accept it because it's tied to the industry.
Okay.
So, good question. And I'm going to finish this thought on this. So the weight and the time decay. So the weight is what you post. So if you just post a picture with no tags in it, it's not going to have, not hashtags, but actually tagging people. It's going to have less weight as if you post a picture and you tag people in it. Or if you do a video, especially if you do a live video.
You mean like tag, like
like
Tagging. I haven't been tagging lately because.
But what do you mean like tag people? Like, so if they were doing something real estate related
Yep.
and like tagged
Their client.
potential client, or is that
or
what
people
you're-
they're with.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
just like because other friends will see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
got it,
if you
sorry.
post a picture and you tag someone in it, it goes to their profile.
No, you're right. You're right.
Is this you?
So, but again, the weight of what you post is based off of what you're posting. So if you just post text is not going to weigh as much as live video, right? Or an image is not going to weigh as much as like live video. So, cool.
So like a job announcement, job switch. Hey everyone, just wanted to let you know.
Take a picture.
So we were
Do
talking
a
about
live
that.
video.
That's
yeah,
what I
do
meant, live
something.
video.
Yeah, do something that's more visual, because just the text, yeah, it works, but it's not gonna have the same kind of pull because Facebook wants you to use that stuff. So just going back to live video is a phenomenal tool because Facebook wants you to use it. So you'll notice when you go live, Facebook will push it out for you, right? Like you go into your notifications. I guarantee I can go in here and I got so and so went live, right?
So
So
to
right
be
here.
authentic, then what kind of videos would you be posting?
Yeah. So I actually do personally. I do a monthly, not
Do
monthly.
people watch? Like not to be rude, but
Oh yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like
No.
you
No
won't-
one watches.
But you wonder
Gosh,
like
dang
if I
it.
put this video out, is somebody gonna be like, what is she doing?
People are going crazy. No.
So I think you got to be conscious of. Again, I think if it's authentic and it's you, and it will resonate because it's you, right? So like
Okay.
I started this.
Friends like here.
I know, but it just means like I've never done a video
Yeah.
ever, so I wonder if they're gonna be like, what is she doing?
So I started this page specifically just to leverage Facebook Live video, right? But when I started it, the page issue was not an issue, but now it's become more of an issue. I should have just done them on my personal profile, but I kind of like that it's a little bit separate, but it's definitely not getting nearly as much play. However, with that being said, you'll see like this one had 2,000 views, this one had 347 views, this one had 141, this one had
Wow.
I watched it.
2,500 with Megan, right? So the people you connect to, back to your point about the lady with 2,000 people she's connected to, the people you connect to and the people that spend a lot of time on Facebook, that's a gold mine. Because if they're connected and they're spending time in there, the moment you connect yourself to them, your brand is leveraging that connection. So this individual has a ton of connection, this one has a little bit less, right? I'm not promoting any of this stuff. The stuff I have promoted, it kind of goes out. And you can see those have higher views. But still, the idea is the other person that I'm giving back to, the person I'm interviewing, has all the leverage, right? They control the interactivity. And then I start to tie from that.
That's true because I didn't know who you were.
Right.
But I saw Megan had an interview with you, and I was like, oh, let's see what she's doing. And
Yeah.
that's how when I saw this class, I'm like, oh, that's the guy that interviewed
Yeah,
Megan.
see?
So,
Megan's
Yeah.
famous. I just like to latch on to other people's fame. No, the reality is I know that other people are connected inside these platforms.
right.
If I give them a platform to talk about what's positive in their lives, I'm going one against the majority of the content on Facebook, which is negative, trying to drive something positive, so it's a little bit different, and I'm tying to other people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's how I'm using live video. I feel like that's worked really, really well for me. I've seen some real estate agents that have tried to do community-driven interviews where they'll go into a small city or a niche of a city, and they'll interview business owners or just really interesting people. Like I would probably go and interview that lady that's home as a mom with 2,000 followers that
Oh, that's
I
a
could,
great idea.
you know what I mean?
Well,
But then I'm not talking about business. I'm just talking
I know
about
what you're saying.
yeah, like
Yeah.
how do you balance your day? How do you find ways to still do everything here and still be there for your kids? Like stuff that people want to know about, and they want to get to know that person better, right? I don't know if that's a good example or not, but that's the kind of stuff I'm digging for.
I see. Well, they just built so we sold her grandma's condo, and they just built a tiny house out
Oh,
in the back
oh.
of her I know.
That's
Yeah, you
perfect.
have to
I
do that.
I know, and it was posted to Facebook yesterday. She posted it to Facebook, and so it's a tiny little house for grandma,
Mm-hmm.
so that she doesn't have to live in assisted living.
Oh.
So
Super
she
cool.
went from having to move out of her condo to assisted living. We sold her condo, and now they've built a tiny little house,
It's in the
and
backyard.
it's
What?
in their backyard.
That is
That'd be a
awesome.
perfect interview.
Oh yes, and she loves this.
Right, and she probably, especially if she's spending that much time on Facebook, she will appreciate the opportunity to tell her story even further. But if it's you asking, it's easier to talk about yourself when someone else is asking. When it's just me talking about myself, no one cares.
So do you
that make
just
sense?
have line up a list of questions and go over?
I have the same questions.
Okay.
Yeah, mine are like, what are your whys? What's an experience that you went through that really
What are your
changed
what?
you? Well, your whys. Like, why do you
Why?
wake up every day?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like what motivates you?
uh-huh.
What's a? Do you know who Simon Sinek is? He wrote a book like Know Your Whys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's based on his book. And then I asked like, what is an experience that you went through that really changed you for the positive, or that you really grew from? And what are you reading or following, or people you're inspired by, podcasts, that kind of thing. And then like, what's a quote? And so all of it is driven towards positive mindset, and I just try to get people to speak to that. And it's super simple, and Facebook Live is amazing because I just turn it on and I start it and we go. I don't have to upload anything, I don't have to do anything. I just let it go and then I stop it and I post it. That's it, it's done. I don't have to download anything, I don't have to edit anything, it's just done. So, just an idea. I see a lot of agents going and talking about their listings and stuff. That's good, but it's harder for me to connect with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
who
if you-
wants to watch a 20-minute video about
Right.
your listing?
Yeah.
I mean,
who
if
wants
you
to watch
did
a
it-
20-minute video of me interviewing someone? But apparently people watch parts of it, or all of it, or some of it. Never
Well, you're
mind.
asking them about who they are as a person.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not a sale. It's not an
Yeah.
ad.
Yeah.
I like seeing listings. I like seeing house photos.
Sure.
Those attract me. So I
Yeah.
can see the importance of that. I'm like, ooh,
What?
what's going on with the inside of that house? But
I mean,
more than that,
I just feel like if I was in real estate, I'd be interviewing architects, designers, anyone that's got more of the aesthetic part of real estate, just to tie to what makes them creative, and also to like why their eye leads a certain way. I would tie to some of that stuff. I would tie to clients that I just think are unique, like that tiny house thing is gold. That people will connect with that, and it'll resonate because everyone wants to know about those damn houses. There's crazy. How do you live in that? I have no idea, but
Yeah.
there's plenty of people that do, and
Well,
if you
there's
kind of
people that are 20 and there's people that are 80.
Well,
Right.
yeah, and
Right.
she's like 85 years old, and instead of living in a little room like this,
yeah,
spending $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I mean, literally, that's what her
Yeah.
room was costing her.
yeah,
They put this little tiny house, and of course, she can join, the family
Yep.
and watch the great grandbaby be raised. And I just think it's
awesome.
the coolest thing. Like,
But I think you interview her as someone that's inspiring you, right? So if you say, hey, I'm interviewing you because I'm so inspired by what you're doing, and I just think that people need to hear your story. And the reason why I'm doing these videos once a month, once a week, whatever, is because I want to introduce you to people that inspire me. And they can happen to be clients, they could happen to be referral sources. All of that stuff, in my brain, it makes sense to me.
well,
So-
and I've always heard that you don't sell real estate.
Nope.
You be who you are,
Yeah.
and then people, like, I golf.
Yeah.
I met a lady, she called me up, and I hadn't seen her for 2 or 3 years, and she's like, will you help me buy a house? And I'm like,
Yeah.
sure. And then I said, but why did you pick me?
Yeah.
And she said, because I watched you.
Yeah.
And I was just me. I wasn't selling real estate on the golf course. I wasn't playing golf because I wanted to sell real estate.
Just being you.
Yeah.
I love it. People trust that, right? I hardly ever talk about title insurance. I probably should talk about it more. I just really don't. It's just not important. It is, but it's not important to building the relationship. Building the relationship is about you, not me. And I'm not trying to drive you to use First American. You'll want to use First American because we're trying to find ways to invest in that relationship, right? So that's the best advice I could give you is use live video, but try and be super genuine about it and make it fun for you. If it's fun for you, then it's gonna resonate once you're on camera. Cool? All right, so that was a little bit of a
So you're
sidetrack.
posting these videos to your personal page?
I will repost them back. So I originate them on this page that I created.
Your business page?
Yeah, it's called Gavin Higashi Life Notes. There's
Okay.
nothing really businessy about it.
Right.
I just post different articles and different things I find that are positive, but really all I post is these videos now. I start them here and then I'll go back to my personal page.
And just repost them.
Yeah, and then I'll always add something like positive about that individual. I'll just show you the one that I did recently. I like to golf too. This one. So I just said, I'm thankful I had the opportunity to interview my buddy, and then I just repost that video. So now it's on my personal page, and I'm trying to tie back that way.
Okay.
Cool?
So you don't do any kind of hashtags or anything, you just, and so did you copy your buddy?
Yeah, I tagged him.
Tagged him, I
Yep,
mean?
he's right there. Yep.
Okay.
So, again, I'm trying to tie to the personal side of people, what makes them positive. That's kind of what my message and niche is trying to be. So, yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to spend any more time on Android unless you guys have any other questions. But really, the key on that is the more time you spend on other people's content, the better that is for your affinity with that individual. So, again, it's eyeballs, it's attention. The more you're in front of them, the higher your attention is with those people. You're branding yourself, right? The more they see your name, they're going to think of you. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So I did this little sheet just to give you kind of, and you guys can hand these out. I don't know if anyone's on this camera, but I can get this to you somehow. It's just a real basic little checklist. This is something that I try to do just to stay on track, but just focusing on the content of other people, right? 20 comments, 20 likes, 5 messenger messages, and then 1 post of my own. Again, I don't do that daily. I just do that as I feel like I need to do that.
So this is once a day,
yeah.
once a week?
Once a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the likes and comments are easy. If you look at it this way, that's 40 touches you get in a day. That's, how many is that, 200? 40, 5 days a week? Yeah, 200 touches by the end of the week. It doesn't cost you a ton of time and cost you a ton of energy to get through 20 likes and 20 comments. To make 20 phone calls is another story, but to be able to connect with people's content that's already important to them, that only 10 people have commented on, there's so much value in that 2 seconds it took you to write that comment. But that's Facebook, that's what I would focus on. The other thing with Messenger, and I didn't talk about this yet, but Messenger is another really good tool, and I apologize, I don't know what's all in here, but so forgive me.
Forgive you if we see something.
Exactly. Forgive me if it's out of control. So, Messenger, obviously, no one's going to Messenger from their desktop. They're all going from their phones, right? Mm-hmm. It's another communication tool, but it's really not very noisy. So, like when you get a message in Messenger, how many do you get a day? Let's just say you get 3 or 5. You're more likely to go and look at that, right, than you are to an email. There's just not a lot of noise in there right now. So it's a good opportunity for you to connect with people. I have specific clients that I know will only communicate with me through Messenger. And they honestly are starting to target me through Messenger too, because they know I will look at that. There's just less noise. And when we get into Instagram, it's the same thing with direct message. There's just less noise, so people are way more likely to respond to you.
So what kind of, I mean, I get messages from a friend of mine that she sends me these funny things.
Perfect. You can send something funny. You could send something that is more specific, like if it was religious or related. You know what I mean? Like you could send one direct message to one individual, because that would resonate with that person, right?
Right.
And
Private.
being more private or specific to someone that that content will resonate. I just think that there's so much power in Messenger because there's no noise.
So are you doing this like on an individual thing, or are you doing like, because I have a friend that
Individual.
I think she's like literally,
Yeah.
going down her, I've had it done.
You can't get off the list quick enough, right? Like you can't get out of that message quick
Yeah.
enough, right? Has to be
Oh,
individual.
sends it to several people,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that.
Focus on the individual message.
Okay.
It could be just you going through Facebook and you see something, you're like, oh, boom, that makes me think of this person. I'm gonna copy that link and send it directly to that one person. That is a valuable way for you to connect with people. I have a rep for First American in Nevada, and he's constantly trying to stay branded in front of me, which I love because it's similar techniques to what I would like to see real estate agents use. So he'll send me stuff almost once a week. He's just really consistent about it. But I always see it, and I always think of him. I have a lender that does the same thing, just constantly putting content in front of me. Motivational stuff, positivity, different book suggestions, stuff like that. So, just an idea. All right. Any questions? Oops.
Yeah, we had ran an ad on Facebook business page. And
Yeah.
we got all kinds of messenger response, but it really didn't do anything. It's like it was an ad for one of our listings.
Yeah, we ran it for like 6 weeks, and I mean, we had people,
We probably
I think
got
90
90
responses, but I mean, literally, and they responded through
messenger, because it was like
Messenger, but it was through our business page, it was through the ads.
Yep.
And we'd follow up like as quickly as we could, because the gal that did the ad said that, you needed
gotta
to do
respond.
that. But it felt like, I mean, it didn't.
people were just screwing around and saying, how much is this house?
Yeah, how much is this house?
like-
Where is it? Blah blah blah.
Like they
I
had
just
nothing else
didn't-
better to do, and they really
It's
weren't
kinda
looking
like-
for a house.
Facebook business.
Interesting.
I mean, we've been doing, kind of playing with Facebook for, what do you think?
A year now.
Nah,
or more.
whatever. And it doesn't feel authentic to me, number one.
Mhm.
Number two, it's like, who's really gonna buy a house through you on Facebook? And it feels more like I'm trying to sell something, like,
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
What
thing
is
about Facebook
that's the
is-
strategy though. That strategy is going to be much more sales driven, cold call driven. Just like if you're purchasing a Zillow zip code or whatever, you're driving non-qualified leads that are not relationship based, right? So you're driving actual names of people for you to call and follow up with, right? So Facebook ads are going to do that same type of thing. They're going to drive that same type of person because you have no you have no connection,
right.
right?
Yeah, and it's like, you hear about all these landing pages that you have
Yep.
to have to get, these people to sign up. And
Yep.
Facebook's like automatic, so that's
For
the
sure.
right thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've tried it, and it's like, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of good quality, people or
Right.
leads,
It works though if you're coming from the mindset
You
of
have to
that.
do like thousands and you
Thousands.
get 1%.
Yep.
So out of 1,000 you get 10
There's
or something like that.
absolutely, and it is a strategy that's worked really well for some agents,
Yeah.
just like Zillow or
Yeah, we used to do
Redfin, all that
Zillow and all
stuff.
that, and it was
Yeah.
like, and we built up the business, but it was just, like
it's a lot of work
5
to
or
get
6
the one
years
lead.
ago,
Yeah.
they were much more quality
Yeah.
oriented leads than they are now.
Yep.
And that we haven't done them for like 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know.
So you
And they're
have
way
to.
more expensive than they were back
Right.
then.
So Facebook ads are either driving visibility with people you don't currently have connection with, which is still beneficial
right.
for the cost specifically.
And you
it's
have to
beneficial.
have a business page to do the ad.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
There's benefits to it. I just, it's definitely going to produce those types of leads. Whereas
Which is not great.
on the personal profile side, you're driving relationship
Right.
and reiteration of brand and timing. So when people are thinking, they're thinking of you because you spent that time.
So do you think it's like, I think my feeling, and I keep going, learning more and more every day, it's like, it seems
Sure.
like you need to have the business page to try and do some, forward or lead gathering,
Sure.
But how much time and money do you put to that, or do you go to your personal and devote more time to that and the people that you already know?
Yes, it's definitely both. I mean, they're two separate strategies, right?
Right.
So if you want to drive that kind of business with those types of leads, then that is what you're going to get out of those paid ads.
Have you ever?
Yeah. So it's both.
Have you ever? Do you know of? Because I've heard of these different companies that you pay them $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month to put out Facebook landing pages and funnel leads
Yeah.
to you. But is it really? I mean, have you heard of any company? There's like Y Local, Agentology. I see all these ads and I look at them and it's like, geez. I mean, it's like, am I really going to get a payback on this, or is it just like throwing money away?
I think the cost per click and cost per lead changes when you're using a third-party vendor, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing it yourself, you're keeping the cost down. Just like if you're going to send a postcard, if you do a bulk mailing yourself, take it to the post office, it's going to cost way less, right? If you pay someone else, it's going to cost more, so you're paying more to get that one lead.
So it's
that
like this messenger or this one ad that we set up on our Facebook page that actually got like a bunch of them.
Mhm.
It's like, I guess you just respond to them, and if you happen to have something that clicks,
Absolutely.
and it costs very little, it costs us like $100 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or like 6
150.
Yeah, if you get one out of that, I mean, you may not get one out of the first one, but maybe if you get one out of that, yeah, it costs you time, but you are absolutely getting your brand in front of people and you're connecting with people. I think there is value in ads as long as that's the kind of contact or client that you're wanting to
Well,
kind
it's
of
just
work
another
on.
avenue.
Yeah,
It's
that's why I think you got to do both.
We've experienced it, and we thought, oh, this is a bunch of crap. But as a matter of response,
Yeah.
and maybe we were in a different. We should probably been in our area. We were near the listing, which is out in Brighton. So anyway, I'm
I love that area. That's where I live.
Hey, I got a nice place for you.
There you go.
Done cool.
There you go.
Segue.
So I'm gonna skip over to Instagram just because again that's the problem with Facebook is it's such a wormhole. Like we spent 50 minutes talking about Facebook, which it's important because it's such an important platform for us as marketers to understand. It's a great way for us to give back to people's content. But what I do want to talk about is Instagram. So let me just show you a couple things in here. So one of the best tools you can use inside of Instagram is the stories function. So the stories function is based off of Snapchat. So same with Snapchat. If you want to tie to people more personally, look at Snapchat, look at Instagram stories. It's an easy way for you to document what you're doing, right? So I just posted that last night. So you could see I was at dinner with my kid for his 13th birthday. I don't share any of that on Facebook because it's too hard. It's too hard to share it on Facebook.
What do you mean by that?
Too many people?
Well, it's harder. Like I have to take the pictures and then I gotta go into Facebook and I have to add the pictures and then I gotta think about all the stuff I'm gonna say about it, right? To build that one post. Whereas with stories, I just take a picture, add a location, and I'm done. Or
But you type in your.
yeah,
Oh.
I take
Are stories generally one day? Like what's
24
the
hours.
24
Yeah.
hours.
And then you can add the stories to your. You can add the stories to your page. So like, this is my son playing hockey. I can add that to my story, and it's always there. or to my timeline. So it's always there. Not my
Your
timeline.
timeline.
Sorry, not
Your
my
what?
timeline.
Your-
My Instagram page. So this is my Instagram page.
Yeah.
That little Nolan hockey
Is a
that's
story.
one story that I saved. So you could save, I don't know. I have no idea.
How many?
You could save as many as you want.
So if you know you have something interesting going on in a day in real estate, or
Yeah.
this is how the day went.
Yeah, and I think it's this easy, right? So this is the home screen. You swipe to the right. Oops. So here's the home screen. Home.
Mhm.
You swipe to the right, and it pulls up the camera, right?
Oh.
So I'm just gonna take a picture. And then this little up on the top right are your options. So if I click on that little,
Smile.
that little smiley face, that's a sticker. It allows you to add a bunch of different stuff. So like I could put little pictures in here, if I wanted.
And then move it.
I can move
Just
it around.
dragging it?
Exactly. I can add a location. Well, maybe.
Are you on the one?
Yeah. So anyways, you can add a location. It can locate me. You can mention people. So if you want to tag other people inside of that, you can. You can add hashtags in there. And I can just put teaching today. Right? You can just move it around.
But it's in white.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's change it real quick. Thank you. And then I just click add to story. So really I can knock that out. It's a piece of content of what I'm doing in my day for the people following me to see. Very simple. I mean, once you get rolling, you can hammer those out pretty quickly, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. So this girl is a real estate agent. She's a friend of mine actually. So she's with her brother-in-law and sister. Taylor Bunny is a real estate agent up north. She's just posting pictures of her and her family. Let me see if she posts a real estate one.
You had Carla Bartels up there, didn't you? Are you friends with her?
Tabitha Bartel, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also a real estate agent.
Correct.
So's Carla. I know her.
So you can just keep posting little things like this, right? And then it just gives insight to the people and what they see, right? It just gives insight of who you are to them. But it's super easy. And you're just documenting. Again, you're just documenting what you're doing. So Taylor does a really good job. Like I see her post pictures of like showing homes, or she'll just do a quick little tour of her walking through a home. She doesn't even say anything. The sound's off. She's just showing houses. Well, because she's a real estate agent, right? That's what she does. So she just briefly is like reiterating what she does.
How long is that? Can that go, that video?
10 seconds, but you just hold down and it'll just stitch together 10-second clips. Yeah. The other benefit of stories is I can, as a consumer of the content, I can get through it really quick. I don't have to watch the entire thing. I can just click right through it. And for example, like if you look at mine, I can click through it and I don't have to sit there and watch the entire thing. Does that make sense? So I get through the content much faster. So I can consume more. Oh yeah, no problem. So I'll just show you, and I'll just show you on mine. So clicking
Really
on,
good idea.
Well, yeah, I was like, this is the best way to.
so clicking on this side, like if you click here, if I click there, it's gonna skip to the next one. If I click on that left side, it goes back.
Yeah.
And then you can click and hold and pause it. So if you want, like if someone posts a bunch of text, you can click and hold and you can read it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you can share right from here as well. So if you saw something, oh, you can't actually share other people's stories. Never mind, can't do that. But the idea is you're able to post content. So going back to like Facebook, like if you go and look at my Facebook page, I don't post a ton of content. But on Instagram, I'll probably do 2 to 5 stories a day.
Okay.
But it's much more like that, just real quick.
So you can go on to Google and like get to know Instagram, because I know nothing about it. Like,
Of course.
do you have friends on Instagram? How do people see your content?
Stalkers.
Yeah. You do have friends on Instagram. You have followers, and then you have people you follow.
Go.
So one of the things that I've just recently learned is you want to have more followers than people you're following. It's something, I don't know, it's like a credibility thing, and some younger people have told me, they're like, dude, you're following way more people than follow you. You have no credibility, basically. I'm like,
suck.
what? So, exactly. So you want to keep those as close to, or actually have the number of people you're following less than the number of followers. So one of the things that, and I don't know, don't ask me why. I don't know, but it's a mental thing when people go and look at your profile. They're like, oh, you're following way more people than follow
what
you.
my 22-year-old would say.
Yeah, exactly. My son would say the same to me.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a goal of mine, is trying to keep the followers, the number of people that are following me higher than who I'm following. Yeah.
So can you delete your people that you're following?
Yes.
Cut down
I had to do that. Sorry if any of you are victims of that.
If you're offended.
But, like, let me see.
And then
Basically,
are you commenting or replying like Facebook? You're supposed to.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess what?
That's
Yeah.
right.
If if they reply or comment on your stuff, you want to reply and comment to those comments immediately.
People that we want to stay in touch with.
Everybody. Anyone that comments or replies to your stuff, you want to make sure you're just like on Facebook. If they like your stuff, you want to make sure you're commenting on that. Not so much the likes, but the comments specifically. Every comment you want to comment back on. Engage in that as quickly as possible.
How do I enable access at that point? That's what
Just
I got
click
when I
enable.
swiped.
Just click.
Enable
Yeah.
microphone
Yep.
access?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I figured that's where you're going with it. Like, should I be commenting on it
No,
as
that's
people
good.
comment?
I don't know anything about Instagram.
No problem.
And then when we get to Snapchat, I told my daughter it was called Snapfish, and she just thinks that's the funniest
Ah,
My boss calls it Snap Champ. Just now he thinks it's funny, but that's really what he meant.
that's a way smaller group now, right?
It is, but
Wasn't the same as Instagram? Like, or is-
very similar.
And like Instagram, Facebook bought, so Snapchat is bought by.
I can't even use that.
Snapchat's its own deal. So
I just put that on this.
when you start hearing about some of these sites, I strongly encourage you to go out there and try them out, right?
Yeah.
So like Snapchat, when it first started, had the story function and it had this messaging function that disappeared, right? They're the first ones to do it. Well, once Facebook saw that people were utilizing that, they duplicated it. So that's why Instagram duplicated it. And people use stories on Instagram way more than they're using on Snapchat at this point. But Snapchat has a place. And the key is if you know other people that are on Snapchat and they're using Snapchat, it's a great way for you to connect with people. I picked up clients because they're real estate agents and that's the platform they use. They're just posting on Snapchat. So I connect with their content and I've gotten appointments. I actually get business from the 3 people that I started to target on Snapchat because, again, there's no one on there. There's not a lot of
Does
content.
everything go away after?
Yeah, it goes away. But the idea is they're posting content. I can connect with that content. I can add value to it. They're going to know who I am even without knowing who I am. And I've been able to get appointments that way. So just if you get on there and start looking to see people you know, there's a chance there's an opportunity for you to connect with them there. So same with Instagram. Instagram stories, people will go on there and not comment. They'll just like. If I throw a comment in there, there's a higher likelihood I'm going to get a response back, and there's a higher likelihood I'm going to get a connection back.
I have a question about
Course.
Instagram and their algorithm for how things work, because you can follow and you can have followers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you follow? I'm looking. I guess I was trying to look how many people you follow, and do. I guess that makes sense to follow a lot of people so that they kind of like the Facebook thing to
Yeah, but
create that. I don't know, is that the same
Yeah,
thought?
absolutely. But the thing you have to be careful with is, again, that number of following versus followers matters, right?
Right.
So do a chunk at a time, and then make sure you're going back and unfollowing them as they start to follow you. See what I'm saying?
So, okay, so
If you're trying to build up numbers like
got
that,
it, yeah.
that's
Makes
what
sense.
it's a common thing. People will go and they friend you, or they start following you, and then they just unfollow you once you followed them.
Ah,
So they build up that following. So it looks like they have hundreds of thousands, and some of them do have hundreds of thousands.
right.
But that's how they started, was to start building a following that way.
Okay. I was curious about
Yeah.
that. That seems like it.
The other-
I wonder.
The other thing too that you can do is like you can search hashtags inside of Instagram, and then you can start seeing the people that are talking about. Like if you did, like, where do you live?
I follow like workout stuff, so I get
Right,
a
right,
ton of like, I follow a lot of that, so I
Yep.
see what you mean by that. I live by the Southlands, so.
Southlands.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if you search hashtag Southlands or specific subdivisions in there,
Uh-huh.
you can start following those people, because you know they're kind of tied inside
Okay.
the pocket
Okay,
that you're trying to brand.
right.
Just search that hashtag, and then you start seeing people that are talking about it, and just start following them that way.
Okay.
Maybe you have a goal of following 20 people a day, if you're really off of one hashtag or subdivision names or a city.
And this is on Instagram.
It's on Instagram.
That makes.
So how do you
I'm gonna look at it.
search hashtags in Instagram?
I'm gonna show you.
So,
It makes me so
I
nervous.
probably need to.
Is that the magnifying
research.
glass?
Yeah, so you just click search, and then you type up here hashtag Denver. There we go. So, like, if you wanted to follow Denver foodie, hashtag Denver foodie. Maybe you're really into food. I don't know. Let's just see if real estate pulls in.
So say I wanted to follow the gal that built the tiny house for her grandma.
Yeah,
So find out if she's on Instagram, or how
Yep.
would I do that?
you can just type her name in this search box, and if she's in there, it'll show up.
Find people to follow is that way too.
Yeah.
But you want more followers than, or you want more people following you than you're following them?
Yeah, more followers than following. Yeah, I know that sounds like a mouthful.
Then following.
More followers than.
So, for example, if you're searching a city, like right here, I'm searching Denver real estate. I could start going through and I could look at these specific posts and see who's following and liking that stuff, and start following them on my end. So they have 19 likes. I can see who it is, and I can just start following those people that way.
So you
And
want
then-
to follow people that have more content? More.
Yeah. Ideally, I mean, that would be, you could follow people that are commenting on specific hashtags. That'd be one way. Or if you know that there's someone that's an influencer in Denver, you could go follow them, and as people start following their stuff, you can follow them back. So Gary Vaynerchuk, do you guys know who that is? I'll show you. So he's like a beast.
So when we have more followers than following, should we go to all those followers that we're missing and follow them? Or it doesn't
Oh.
matter at that point?
So, no, what you probably need to do is go through. So here, I'll show you on mine. So under my followers,
Yeah.
you click on followers, and I would just go through and unfollow them. So like I could just click here and go unfollow.
Why do I want to unfollow people who are following me?
You're right. So that's the followers. No, these are the people I'm following. So, sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. So the people I'm following, right?
Yeah.
I want to go through here and just click if I click that following button,
Yeah, I don't.
I'll unfollow them,
And why do you want to do that?
so that you're dropping that number down. So that the number of people you're following is less than the people
It
following
is.
you. Then you're good. So just, you're good. So as you start to follow more people.
I don't want to bring that number up to match.
No, I wouldn't. You can, as long as you're gonna go back and unfollow some people. You want that people following you higher.
Following higher or followers higher?
Followers higher.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Followers
who's the
higher.
Gary Vaynerchuk?
Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, sorry.
Who is he?
So he owns this company called VaynerMedia. He's based out of New York, but he owns a social media ad agency company. But you can see just from his stories how he's building content, and you can see the style in which he's building content and how he's using this platform to get attention. Almost all the concepts and stuff that I learn from his content. He's constantly.
Does he have 1 million followers?
He does. I think so.
4.4 million.
4.4 million.
Whoa.
Holy
But he's-
So we can follow him.
Please, you should.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
more than anything, he's going to teach you how to use all these different tools. So if you go onto Facebook, follow him on Facebook. Look at how he's building content inside of Facebook. He's incredible. He's got incredible content all over.
Vanderchuck.
Yep, Vanner, Vayner. Chuk.
V-A-Y-N.
He's very influential in the real estate space too. So he actually has a
Oh,
conference he's
love
doing in February called Agent 2021. It's really directed at real estate people. I went last year, but his whole idea is to teach agents how to use these platforms. He gives away so much free content.
That's it.
Yeah, he gives away so
Here,
much
taking
free
a picture
content.
of you.
Of me just talking. Do you need me to smile?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Huh, interesting.
So, really good motivational content, but more than anything, he teaches you how to use these platforms to the highest level, right? So he's going to show you all the stuff you can do with it, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'll never do any of that. You just take little bits and pieces, and he just has really, really good content.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
So this other little button up here, that is your messenger. That's like your direct messaging inside of Instagram. I strongly encourage you to start messing around with that. So as you start to follow people, you may not even know them. You send them a direct message, be like, hey, I really appreciate your content. Just thank you so much for sharing. You're giving back to them. They'll appreciate that, right? It's a great way for people to get to know you, especially if they're influencing in Denver or in the market you're trying to market to. Cool?
Yes.
You'll see on this little Instagram thing for my social media checklist, 3 posts to your stories, 1 post with hashtags on your profile. So if you do write a post, make sure you put in some hashtags. 10 comments on other people's posts, and 1 direct message. They're pretty simple activities that you can do. Again, it's all designed to build brand reiteration, deeper connectivity with the people that already know you, as well as connect you with people that don't know you. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm running out of time.
That's okay, we're running out of brain space.
There you go. So really quickly, I'm just going to show you Snapchat. What makes Snapchat, let me not do that. So with Snapchat, do you guys know about the filters and stuff? Like, it's one thing that people really enjoy, and you can actually do that on Instagram stories as well. But you can pick these filters, and it'll auto build the filter. Now, have you seen any of this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Kids.
Yeah, it's fun. It is easy content, right? It's easy content for you to push out there. Follow people that are posting stories. So if people are posting stories, like that Jeff at Remax is a client of mine. I had no idea who he was. No idea. He's an agent in Colorado Springs. He just is, I have no idea how I connected to him, honestly. When I first got on Snapchat, connected to him, I just started liking and commenting on his content. And then over time, I'm like, man, I would love to meet you in person. We met. I was like, would you ever work with me? He's like, sure. I'm like, yes. It was that easy. Because a lot of people aren't on their content. Bernadette Reed is another one. People don't post on her content. I consistently post to her content, so she knows I'm there, right? The other function in here is you have the ability to send messages directly to people. I have a hard time with it, but it disappears immediately, and then I can't remember who I talked to or what I was talking to them about. It makes it difficult. But your kids are communicating this way. My kids communicate to all their friends this way. Stresses me out, but absolutely they do it. If I teach you anything, when you go in here, it defaults to today. So when you're snooping on your kid's phone, if you scroll down, like if you go down, you'll be able to see all the history of their all the history of their comments and most of their text interaction. You can't see the pictures, but you can see the text interaction, which is very valuable as a parent, because that, like, this looks like there's nothing there, but if you scroll down, you can at least see there's interaction with certain people. So I like to stalk my kid because I feel like he's hiding stuff, and so I can see it in there.
Right.
And he is hiding stuff.
This is the 13-year-old?
This is my 16-year-old.
Oh.
Not the 13-year-old. He's a gem. But it's another great communication tool, and again, because kids are communicating this way, I think it's just a matter of time before it becomes more accepted, especially by us. I have clients that I communicate through Snapchat. I don't really enjoy it, but I do.
You put on like a fun hat and you're like,
It's not really. Not really.
I was
Yeah, absolutely. I mostly just talk to that's hilarious, or I love that you're doing that, or what a great idea.
right.
People are just so much more genuine, and they'll share so much more on Snapchat and Instagram because it's gone. You know what I'm saying? They're just more willing to share that content. Okay. So, are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Do you have any brain space left? I'll take that as no.
Yeah.
Okay. One other piece I just want to point out is, oh my gosh. Is my caps lock on? Okay. Shit. Did I get hacked? Yes. Work. It's working on it. Sorry about that. Let me go back to... You guys have a really cool setup too, by the way. I just have to get used to it. Okay. So LinkedIn. I'm just going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. It's just starting to get a lot more connectivity, and you can really talk about business inside of LinkedIn. One of the new features they added is you actually have the ability to add native video now. So like if you took a video of yourself, you can upload it directly into LinkedIn, which you weren't able to do in the past. These platforms, are you guys familiar with like the hub and spoke mentality? Okay, I'm just going to show you really quick. Because it's important for how the shift has happened with social media, with real estate. So this guy, Chris Smith, who designed and operates this company called Curator. Have you guys heard of Curator? Mm-hmm. Curator is a local-based, it's not local-based, they build local-based websites to drive leads. It's actually a really cool platform. But anyways, he just said you can live on the spokes. So the old strategy was you had to have a blog or a website. That's where all your content originated. You push that content out to Facebook, your pages, or push it out to Twitter, push it out to LinkedIn. Reality is you don't have to do that anymore, and really it doesn't work. You have to live on each of the spokes. You have to live inside of Facebook and have content inside of there that's for Facebook. You have to build inside of LinkedIn so it's specific to LinkedIn. So even though it's more work, the bang for the buck is better because you're spending time natively inside those platforms. You're getting better attention from the people inside those platforms. So it's another reason why I tell people you don't have to be on every platform, but the ones you're on, be consistent, and try to give back to the content of other people inside of those, right? But yeah, LinkedIn
I
is...
don't get LinkedIn. I mean, like...
It's business Facebook.
Yeah.
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 So let me see if I can see my feed here real quick. So she's posting a listing there. It's got 5 likes. Let me see if I can see more. So Jen Allen is a perfect example. She posts all this statistical information consistently. She's always posting like the to-dos or the different tips or different things that are going on. She posts it in LinkedIn. She's getting the brand awareness because no one else is posting in there. Oh, got you. That's not good. I thought I had it plugged in. I wonder if,
Let me make sure that it's
Plug it into
plugged
the
in.
wall.
you know what, I think I plugged into the wrong thing. I think I'm good now. I'm good.
Are you plugged in now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I plugged into the wrong box. Again, it comes down to that noise and attention thing, right? Think back to Facebook like in 2008 or when you first got on there. There wasn't a lot of noise, but it's like the longer you're on there and the more people you connect to, the noisier it gets and the less stuff you're seeing. So like same with LinkedIn, there's not as much noise. So if you as a marketer are posting in there once a day, you're getting viewed and you're getting seen. It doesn't matter if it's 5 or 10 people, those people are seeing that content. Okay? So again, LinkedIn, 1 post, 5 likes, 5 comments.
So what is your recommendation on what you're actually posting?
I think stats are good. I think any of the prepackaged like things to do in the neighborhood, that stuff's good. I think
Like, so my neighborhood, it puts out like a monthly newsletter,
yeah,
kind of like the events that are going on around. Is that something you would put out or?
I think so.
Share,
I think
or-
you could be more general in LinkedIn. Facebook, inside of a group for your neighborhood, that's super valuable, right? Because it's more niche content. On LinkedIn, you could be a little bit more general of it being about all of Denver
Okay.
or all of a specific city.
Like Southeast, or maybe.
Yeah, it could just be more.
Southeast Aurora.
Yeah, it could just be more general.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be as niched. But if you have like a Facebook page that's for that subdivision or group, that needs to be a little bit more niched, right? One last tool I just want to show you guys is Adobe Spark. Are you guys familiar with that?
I'm not.
So what I like about it is it gives you the ability to build content. So I can just click on, like, hey, I want to post something to Instagram. Well, it pre-builds the format. You just click on Instagram post, and then you can go in and build that post inside of here. So if you wanted to do a stats post, once it loads, I'll show you. You can just go in here and just edit this text and say, homes have increased by 20%, which is not true. So you can control all of this right inside here. You can change the background image. You can change all of the colors. You can change all of it, and then you can just download it and save the image, and now you can post it out to wherever you want. They do have, excuse me. They do have a mobile app that allows you to do the same. So if you take a picture of the subdivision sign outside your neighborhood, you drop that into the app, you overlay the text, and then you just post it. Shouldn't take you more than a couple minutes.
Is this an app on your phone?
So what
Yeah,
is
it's free.
Adobe Spark? I mean, what's the general, like, what is it?
It is a design software. It's a design app that allows you the ability to build content for each of the specific platforms. So again, if I go back to the homepage of Adobe here, and I just click on that plus sign, it's going to ask me, what are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to build for? Is it for Facebook, a cover page? Is it for a Facebook post? Are you trying to add to Pinterest? All that stuff, right? An Instagram post. So it's just pre-built for the formatting for that platform. All you have to do is go in and add your images and your text, and It could just be a motivational quote that you're putting over a picture of you or a picture of a home or whatever. You could take a picture of your clients at closing, overlay congratulations to so-and-so, right?
And then save it and build this in Adobe Spark and then be able to take it and put it wherever you
Yep.
want to put it.
Put it in Facebook, you can put it in Instagram, depending on however you want to build.
Is it different? Oh,
The idea
Adobe
is-
Spark Post?
What?
Yeah, Adobe Spark Post is the app.
Whatever you're doing.
Yeah. So that's just the idea is that it just gives you the ability to make it look a little more professional, and just a little cleaner. Works really good with quotes, like quotes in a picture. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or stats in a picture.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, no problem.
So, yeah, see, it's the templates and then collages and season, okay.
I was trying to find this earlier too. DMAR puts out.
You know, that would probably be helpful, because everybody I see that puts something on Facebook, it's always blurry. Have you noticed
Yeah.
that? It's like
Sometimes.
Well, I think you need to do convert a PDF or whatever, you know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And when you do that, it just blurs out.
Yeah.
And probably 75% of the things I see people post it.
Yeah,
Post
it's
into
blurry.
Facebook. Post
Yeah.
into Facebook.
Well, a lot of times you just take a picture. People just take a picture of it and crop it out, and
Yeah.
if they don't take it at a high enough resolution, it won't repost well.
Right.
Just trying to find.
I'll do the mess with that.
DMARC came out with this little infographic. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Let me try and search it.
Is it on the market report? I just downloaded it.
Oops. Dang it! Why can't I spell? It's that. So they put this little infographic out for each of the months.
The Scott?
Yeah, it's this right here. See this download infographic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, and it's free. Where's it at? Right here. So you could just take this, like one little spot of that,
There you go.
and you could just crop that out. So like, if you pull it up on your phone, you could screenshot it, pull just that little section, and then repost that. That's easy, free content. Or you could take that image and put it into Adobe Spark and add your commentary to the side, or, you know what I'm saying?
Can you put it into pages?
Is Adobe
Yeah,
Spark?
like business pages?
Yeah,
Yeah, you could just,
to
absolutely.
create a document for a buyer.
Yes. So these are, because they're all images, it's a PDF, you can screenshot it, cut it, paste it, drop it into whatever you want. But they have really good content. Even though it's sponsored by Heritage Title, no one cares.
Crop it out.
Exactly.
Crop it out.
Crop it out.
Let me just give you an example real quick of what, this is what my buddy's doing on Instagram, which I really like. I'm trying to get Megan to start doing some of this too.
Does DMAR have an app?
Not that I know of.
So you just
So this is, so this is what they could look like, right? So he did these stats for Wheat Ridge, and it's literally just an update of the stats for that specific city. So just built it out that way. So you could literally cut and paste out what DMAR has, and you just reuse that content. It's already done. You just have to
What's that
basically
posted on? Is that Facebook?
stats on stats CO. It's another rep for First American Title.
Okay.
He posts all kinds of stuff on there, but he does 8 cities right now. Luckily, they're the cities I sell in, so it's perfect.
is he doing Denver?
No, nope. It's all just north. But it's got cool little stuff like this. Like you could easily use this, right? So, do you guys know how to do a screenshot on your phone?
Yeah.
So you take a screenshot, right? And then we just go in here and we just crop out his stuff. And then we just do this. And now I can actually save the photos. And then if I go to my Instagram page, I'm not going to post this, but I'll just show you how. I just click add. There it is right there. Hit next. Change up the graphic however you want. And now I've built the post in like seconds, right? So I just can rip that content and I can repost it and add my commentary. That makes
So
sense?
you were gonna post that to where?
Instagram. But I could post it wherever I wanted. Now that I have that image, I could go into Facebook and then I could go,
Right, to your photos.
yeah, what's on my mind? I want to add a photo. Boom, done. Say something about it, and now it's done. What else could I? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole idea is I'm trying to teach you guys how to document, add content where people will see it, and just staying consistent with it. So
It's basically
that
marketing
helps.
on social media and being consistent with doing it.
yeah,
You know, like, think that I get so inundated with trying to decide, well, the business to me, and I haven't really liked being on the business side of Facebook
right.
pages. I've always really enjoyed being on the Facebook.
On the personal side.
side of it.
That's where all social media should be. It's designed to make you transparent, and people are giving you permission to connect with them, right? Like through these platforms, so you can share your content with them and they can engage in it. Like that's what's beautiful about Facebook. It's beautiful about all of the platforms. It's free. It's easy for you to get out there and just connect and get your brand out. So, any questions or anything else I can help with, or
We could go on for
hopefully you guys took one nugget of information or something. Even if you were to stick to just one of these little strategies a day for one platform, I strongly encourage it. I think it's super easy to execute on, and it's something that's helped my business tremendously.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
You get, I mean,
Thank
I
you.
definitely, like, stuff to do tonight, you know, like.
Nice.
You know, when you're sitting on your phone at night, you're just kind of piddling through, it's like,
Yeah.
this is great to do.
Yeah.
Simple, but you know, you can do it.
Yeah.
You just didn't occur.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you hand me that?
Can you hand that back to him?
It was Adobe Sparks that we can pick the platform and do multiple platforms?
Well, no, you
Which
can't.
was-
Adobe Spark allows you to just build the. It's not like. So, are you asking me like if it's like Hootsuite, where it would push out to multiple?
No, like this screen, I was wondering. You've
Oh.
got Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest.
Yeah. So these are all the pre-built formats for that specific platform.
So you can make something on Adobe Sparks and then post it
Yes.
to any of those platforms.
Correct. Yes. Yep. That's the.
And when you're doing Adobe Sparks, you're doing it inside your computer, not doing it from your phone.
You can do both.
No, you can
Yeah.
do it from
And
there.
actually, it's easier from your phone because all your pictures are on your phone.
Screenshot
Yeah.
is easier than,
Okay,
Exactly.
all right.
The pictures on the phone are just easier to access.
Yes.
Is it Adobe free or is it?
It's free.
I just downloaded it.
Yep.
I was just
Cool.
looking at it, yeah.
On the phone, it's Adobe Spark Post, is what you're pointing out, and that one is free.
Yeah.
There's so many free tools out there to help you with content. I try not to get into too many of them. I just think if you have Spark to make like a professional post every now and again,
I like
and then
that.
you're using stories consistently, I think that's all you really need to do.
Stories on Instagram.
Yeah, you can use them on Facebook too, but I just don't think that. I don't
I've
ever
never really
look.
followed them.
I don't really look at the Facebook ones either.
I don't. I
So-
didn't even know they had it
I
until
didn't.
a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, is
Yeah.
that what that is?
There's a function because Instagram is owned by Facebook. Everything you post on Instagram can immediately go to Facebook.
Right.
So that is acceptable, and a lot of people like that because that content almost resonates. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you very
Yeah, thank you.
much.
Thanks for listening to me.
This was great.
Shocked.
Can we follow you?
Of
And
course.
get your ideas?
Absolutely. I'd love for you guys to
Needs-
follow my Life
needs
Notes page.
followers.
Yeah,
Followers.
Your which page?
my Life Notes page.
What's that?
So if you just type in Gavin Higashi,
It's where he had the,
Here or here?
either way, but on
Facebook?
Facebook. So it's actually facebook.com/Gavin Higashi. My last name's spelled Higashi, Higashi. It's not pronounced Higashi, but it's just spelled that way.
Oh, gosh.
And then it'll take you right
Life
to that.
notes.
Yeah. So you'll see every week I try to do an interview. It's usually real estate agents or my buddies or people that I'm around. Yeah.
So it's it, and am I following it just because I liked it?
Did you like it?
I did like, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So now I'll
thanks.
see it?
Maybe. You probably won't. So you probably either need to
Look at
change
a
it.
couple of these interviews?
You can, or if you
Build.
click on that, and you basically click following there,
I
and
am
click
following.
see first.
Ah.
Now you might see it. Now you might see it. So
But you really think this is good for your business lead?
yeah, I'm a big believer just in branding, and I just feel like the more online activity I do, it drives more offline activity. I've just seen like the interactions I have with prospects and clients has just been easier because just people tend to know who I am more without me ever really being in front of them. So it just helps me stick closer to the people because it's like I'm out there. So it's just easier for them to know who I am. So it's made the offline activity easier. Yeah. Cool.
I'm not a social media person, so it's really difficult for me to do it.
Right. Do you connect with
Interesting.
other people at all on Facebook or
Not at all.
not really?
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
And it doesn't. I mean, it's not. I always feel like it's up to you if this is a part of your business and how you want to build, but it's so inexpensive, and the amount of time it takes is really not that much to get in front of a lot of people. That's why it's been beneficial to me. Like mailing and postcards are so expensive. Door knocking is effective, but it's super time consuming. All that stuff works, but this stuff's been easy,
yeah.
easier. You don't have to do it though. Promise. You don't. Cool. Thank you guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, sir.
I appreciate it.
Oh, I live on 112th and Highway 85 in River Run.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have this nice little 1 acre place,
Where's it at?
132nd and Sable.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. That's a cool little neighborhood too because
There's a bus.
is it right on Sable?
No, it's to the
Missed you.
west of Sable,
Okay.
and it's down like a half a mile, and it's
Yeah,
on
we'll talk.
133rd.
Okay. So it's not, yeah, because,
Abilene and 132nd.
yeah, I know exactly. That's such a cool little
I
spot.
know.
Yeah.
It's got, you need it.
Yeah.
It's got an acre, it's
I
got
just-
Can't see it.
5 bedroom, 5 bath.
I am actually moving, but I'm moving to like a 1 acre lot right by Riverdale Golf Course,
I'm
actually.
up for that.
Nice.
So-
On the other side.
Yeah, just on the other side of Highway 85.
Yeah,
So, it's being built as we speak. Thank you.
that's a cool place.
Can't
Oh, you're
stand
gonna
it.
go play Riverdale Dunes all
Right.
day.
I try to play there once a week now, but yeah, once I'm
This
over
guy
there.
used to play every weekend.
Oh, it's a fantastic golf course.
Yeah.
Where do you guys mostly play at?
We are southwest. We're like right.
Oh yeah, I love that course.
Yeah.
Meadows, we live right, we can see Meadows from our.
Oh, okay. And is Meadows the one by Chatfield High School?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I played that course several times in high school. That par 3, like the second hole, I would always get a 6 on that hole because I'd always hit it in the bunkers or top it into the ravine.
Yeah.
See you guys, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Gavin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
still recording?
Oh, maybe.
Sorry.
I don't know how to turn that off.